Hey guys, Anders here. This is going to be a video going over all of the best specialist slash class setups I have found in the game so far, and just who I think is most effective doing what, using what, kind of how to play the character, the play styles that you maybe should be implementing when using them, and all that sort of thing. I will not be going over like any weapon attachments or vehicle setups in this video, so I might say that for another video, but if you like videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel. I put content out 4 or 5 days a week, and I stream every single day on twitch.tv/Enders. So I'm actually in a bot lobby right now that I made because I discovered that the menu UI outside of a game is way worse than actually trying to explain this to you in a game itself. So we will let the bots attempt to fight it out behind us while we go through this. So the first specialist I want to talk about is Sundance. So Sundance obviously replaces her parachute with a wingsuit, which gives her incredible mobility, as well as just a lot of options. Probably the most versatile movement character in the entire game. I like using her with a lot of anti-vehicle slash spawn beacon setups. So you see her, she has a grenade belt. You can actually change this to 3 different grenade types. There's a scatter grenade, anti-vehicle grenade, and an EMP grenade. This is why she's so good at dealing with vehicles. I like running her with, in sort of like an anti-armor setup with the anti-vehicle grenade, and you can choose between a recoilless M5, C5, that type of thing. I like the C5 if I'm going to be playing maps with a lot of verticality, because you can really literally swoop in and just blow vehicles up. Another thing Sundance is really, really versatile with is actually getting in places that other characters might not be able to. So the insertion beacon is actually incredibly useful on Sundance. You can get behind enemy lines extremely quickly, and I find insertion beacons in this game, because you can't actually change squads, is actually incredibly powerful, because with Sundance, especially on the map we're on right now, Breakaway, you can pretty much get behind the enemies instantaneously if you jump off a hill, and you can place a spawn beacon behind them, and you're pretty much be behind them with your entire squad instantaneously. So that's how I like playing Sundance. Moving on to Dozer. Dozer is, this is the character that I really think is kind of in the lower tier of the specialists. Because he has explosive resistance, I would also say this is sort of like, I would try to use him as an anti-vehicle character. If there's a tank that's annoying you, pull out the recoilless M5 or C4 and try to go up to the tank and kill it, stuff like that. His ballistic shield, thank God, is not really that useful. Yeah, there's not much you can really do with this character, in my opinion. Anti-vehicle is definitely his best use case scenario. So moving on to McKay, or Woody from Toy Story, as a lot of people call him, I guess, in this game. McKay is probably the best all-around specialist in the entire game. He has great mobility. He can really make any map work for him. His grappling hook allows you to get up to places, get out of situations that other specialists would not actually get out of. And his passive perk is move faster when aiming and on zip lines. This means that strafe speeds are the same as ADS, strafe speeds are the same speed as hipfire as they are in ADS. So basically, if you ever feel a weapon is slow when you're using another character, switch to McKay, and your strafe speeds will be incredibly fast. And he's just one of the best all-around characters in the entire game. You can really use him however you want. I don't really have any sort of one setup I run with him. I switch around quite a lot. Armor plates, C4, whatever you want to use with him. Moving on to Irish. Irish has the unique trait as to actually spawn with armor. So he has 100 HP and 20 armor, and you can actually put another armor plate on top of his 20 armor. So Irish actually can have up to 140 active HP, which is incredibly strong. He can put up walls directly in front of him as well. I find this character best used when there isn't a lot of cover around, which is all the time in this game. I find he's very good when you're using sniper rifles, because you can set up a wall and kind of just head glitch behind it, pick up the wall, move around, stuff like that. He's also quite good with medic crate and stuff like that. You can choose whatever you want here. Medic crate, armor plates, med pen, that type of thing, because with his cover comes like great survivability. So I would abuse that as much as you can. Moving on to Boris. Boris is kind of like I kind of like a support character in my opinion. I don't play Boris much at all, but if you're gonna play Boris, I would maybe run a repair tool or maybe a stinger missile, that type of thing. Boris is one of the weaker characters in the game in my opinion as well, and yeah, I don't really have that many setups for him honestly. Casper is really interesting. So Casper is kind of a full support character. He's one of the lower tier of offensive specialist in the entire game, but I would actually run this guy with sensor grenades and abuse the living shit out of his spotting capabilities. So I would run this guy maybe with a spawn beacon or a SOFLAM. Try to be annoying as possible with this guy. If you combine your drone and your sensor beacons and all that stuff, you can pretty much keep the enemy team spotted 24/7 with Casper. So abuse that as much as you can. You can use whatever you want with him weapon wise. I just think he's great at reconnaissance, all that stuff, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. So abuse him to the full ability, basically is what I'm saying. Moving on to Rao. Rao, at first glance, doesn't seem that exciting, but he's the strongest anti-air character in the entire game. The reason is he can hack vehicles and disable countermeasures. So if there's a helicopter that you want to kill, Rao is the specialist you want to play, because you can hack that vehicle and then shoot him with the stinger missile, and he can do nothing about anything you're doing to him. The missile will hit if you hack him first. So this is the strongest anti-air character in the entire game, strongest anti-vehicle character in the entire game. Well, one of them actually. Maybe Sundance has a little bit over him as far as like maybe surprise attacks, but Rao is without question one of the strongest anti-vehicle characters in the entire game, particularly air vehicles. So that's what I would use him for. Pike. Pike is, I think, one of the probably the most controversial specialist in the entire game. Pike is incredibly useful in close quarters, and I would say really only close quarters, except for one exception, which we'll get into later. Pike's ability is essentially a wall hack within a certain radius around you. It does not go, too far, which is why I say she's very good for close quarters only. But the people that shoot her are also spotted. So if you're suffering from poor awareness, something like that, maybe you want to play Pike. It will light up people that are shooting at you in bright red. Now, one of the ways I really like to run Pike is actually with smoke grenades. And I'll put up a clip on the screen right now to explain why. If you throw smoke grenades on the ground in front of you, you can actually use Pike's ability and see directly through the smoke and shoot people through the smoke with perfect accuracy. And they can't see you. So in close quarters, you can imagine how incredibly annoying this must be to play against. I have been using this a lot recently, and it's just as effective as you might think. People have no idea where they're getting shot from, and they certainly don't expect it. So use Pike with smoke grenades. You can run armor plate. You can run whatever you want with her. I like armor plate because it gives her a little more survivability in close quarters, or you can run med pen. That is how I'd run Pike. Falk, McKay, Irish, and Angel are the characters you should be playing Sniper on. Just as a side note here. Those are the strongest characters in the game. I would play Sniper with McKay personally because he has the ability to peek around corners quite quickly with his nimble passive perk. That is very useful in Sniper 1v1s. If one person has less mobility, you're much harder to hit and he's much easier to hit, that type of thing. But anyway, Falk. Falk is sort of the medic in this game. She's kind of one of the best all-around characters. She has great survivability. You can use her in any scenario. Smoke grenades, frag grenades. Obviously, don't use medcrate with her because you have med pen. And if you didn't know, with Falk's med pen, you can actually shoot the ground to heal yourself faster than actually holding the button to self-heal. That's a little tip with her. I would really use her as her intended role, medic. Run around, heal people. That's pretty much it with Falk. She has the unique ability to revive people to full health. No other specialist can do that. And she can heal people from range. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think the Schiit pistol has a sort of almost like aimbot to it. Because you can kind of shoot near someone and the dart will kind of find its way over. So you can really kind of spam this Schiit pistol and it will find its target. Last but not least, Angel. Angel, I think, is heavily slept on. Angel has a unique ability to not only resupply armor and call in loadouts, but he can revive any ally, and anyone he revives gains armor. Now, the way I would play Angel is really however you want to play him. You can change whatever you want to do when you play Angel. See, his loadout crate means that you can go in the loadout tab here and set up 4 different loadouts. And you can, if you're playing Angel, you can access that at any time by right-clicking his number 3 ability. I'll actually show you that right now. So, say I want to switch to a class here. You can call in a drop, and you can actually completely change to whatever loadout you want with Angel. I would run Angel with armor plates. Excuse me, not armor plates. I would run Angel with med bag or med pen because he has unlimited armor with this, and you can change class to whatever you want. So, boom, I want to change boom. I want a shotgun now. Yeah, so this is Angel. He's incredibly slept on. I think he's one of the strongest characters in the entire game. He's certainly the most versatile character in the entire game in terms of, like, just survivability and options he has, and I would play him with whatever gun in the game you want. Definitely don't run armor plates on him, though. I misspoke earlier. He has unlimited armor, obviously, with his ability. So these are the best specialist loadouts, in my opinion, in the entire game. Let me know if I missed any cool synergies in the comment section down below. And if you liked the video or found this helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. If you follow Battlefield 2042 content, I plan on putting out some of the best videos you will find gameplay / explanation wise. So, I've been Enders, and I will see you guys later.